Oh snap, Glaze is going live.
Good day, good day, good day. Thank you for joining me. Just in case you're joining me for the very first time, I am your host, the one they call Glaze Gibbs. This is my story. This is my ministry. This is my hood ministry. What I do is I talk about the good, I talk about the bad, I talk about the ugly, about different life experience, also about different social event that's going on these days in time, and sharing my opinion on it. Nothing more, nothing less. That's my opinion. Like I told you, what I do is I try to utilize my past experience to hoping that some young kids or somebody that's out there that's at risk will get out there and listen to the words that come out of my mouth and understand, you know what? They do not have to be the test dummy. I already did that. And I'm letting you know it don't work. So the difference is between me and you, opposed to you trying to make a hustle, try to make a living off the street, go out there and get your job, get your 9 to 5, get your life together, do it right the first time before it's too late. Listen, for more of my story, Google Glaze Gibbs and see who I am. Get your signed copy of the Beyond Lucky book, the Glaze Gibbs story, a true story of crack, money, murder, and redemption. If I can change, anybody can change. Hit that like button, hit the notification button, hit the subscribe button, also comment. Be mindful, be respectful. Today, I'm talking about something totally different, right? I'm gonna talk about, what people like to say, who's right and who's wrong. And let's sit back and think about it right now. No man should ever put their hand on a woman, but also no woman should ever put their hands on a man. A lot of times, it can't be no double standard. You can't, like I say, everybody look at it when you see a man attacking a woman or whatever, it's bloody hell. You know what? Ever since that O.J. Simpson situation took place, guess what? I remember seeing it, being a little boy on the streets of New York. And I used to see these guys beating up their girl, beating up their wife, whatever. I used to see one time a situation happen when I was a little 5, 6-year-old kid. And I'm watching. And right now, this man beating the living daylight out of him. And I'm watching 2 police officers, stopping him. What are you doing or whatever? And he yelling, screaming at the top of your lungs, get the heck away from me. That's my wife. I do what I want to do. Mind you, as a 5, 6-year-old boy, you seen that. You got 2 cops there. And they let him continue to whip his wife behind. I'm like this. I didn't quite understand that. But once again, no man should be able to put their hand on a woman, and no woman should be able to put their hand on a man. But guess what? It happened. And if it happened, if you provoke that person, then what? So right now, what I'm talking about is a situation that happened, I guess, right now at Dallas-Fort Worth Airport. And when you sit back and you look at it, like, wait a minute, they see this white girl, talking to this black guy, and they get into a physical confrontation. And look what happened. Let me try to show you something part of it right quick. Nope.
She's touching me. And I'm telling you, don't put Hey, stop it! Hey! Relax. I fight whoever. Put your hands on me. I fight whoever.
Hey, sit back and think about it, folks. Look at that, right? Look at that whole situation, how it got ugly real fast. Like I tell you right now, you got this young lady in this mad face. First of all, right now is, guess what? What filled or what gave her the heart, the balls, like right now is the courage to be up in this individual face. Then only that yelling, screaming, going crazy. And then what happened? Sit back and think about it. Only thing he kept asking her, get out of my face. But what happened is right now was somebody else, another individual intervened. When that other individual intervened, guess what? You know what I'm saying? Now she got courage because once again, she feels she got protection. And what did she do? She turned around and just swung at the guy. Whop! Hit him in his face. And guess what, man? That guy turned to what? A pit bull. And he pushed that guy out his way, went after and tackled her. Okay? Sit back and look at that. Was he right or was he wrong? Okay? 2 wrongs don't make a right. That woman had no business of putting her hands on him. okay? But even besides that or whatever, like I said right now, is guess what? Sometimes we as individuals got to always be thinking and take ourselves out of those type of situation, because once again, a lot of things could have been prevented. Regardless, because once again, it's not worth it. He know who he is. He know if that woman hit him, what he was gonna do. And look what happened. Once she swung, he went over there and tackled her. And then not only that, when he got up, he swung her, hit her hard. Boom. Then look what happened. You got some other people coming to her aid. You got another brother. Him and the other brother, guess what? That got assaulted. That was going against that white woman. What he did, he got up and they went at it. They face to face. You ain't gonna fight her. You ain't gonna hit her, whatever. He said, you know what? And they got into a challenge. Fight me. Fight me. How can one situation, right now, that man didn't have nothing to do with that predicament. He didn't have nothing to do with that situation. He didn't have nothing to do with it. But yet and still, he want to come up there, okay, be a good Samaritan. I can understand that you breaking up the fight. But how can you break up the fight now willing to challenge this other man to another fight? Right now, is that right or that's wrong? So even in this situation, who was right and who was wrong? And my objective, honestly speaking, like I tell you, they both was wrong. That man was wrong and that woman was wrong, and the other guy definitely was wrong. Why that man was wrong? Because he's a man. And sometimes right now it's like vomiting. And as opposed to spitting out in the commode, sometimes we as men, we as people, sometimes we got to swallow it, regardless how gross and disgusting it may be. That woman, she was definitely wrong. She was definitely off her rocker, whether she was on her medication or not, because once again, she should never have swung on that individual, regardless of what the situation would have been. And even right now, the last man that got involved, he definitely was wrong. Because if you're going to be a peacemaker, be a peacemaker. You can't, unless that's your wife, that's your sister, that's your mother, you can't get that emotionally wrapped up into that whole situation that you about to get caught up into a physical confrontation that we don't know what the outcome going to be. You got two grown men going at it. If that man hits you or you hit him, guess what's going to happen? And one fall and hit their head on the ground and one die, guess what's going to happen? One is going to jail and the other one is going to the graveyard. Listen, it's not worth it. So when y'all sit back and think about it, guess what? Each and every individual party that was involved in that situation, they all was wrong. They could have handled themselves differently. That's what it is. Hey, hit that like button, subscribe, share. Once again, my name is Brian Glaze Gibbs. Get your signed copy to be Beyond Lucky Book. Peace, love, and prosperity.
Record it?
Hey, do it again.
Wow. As long as that light came for a minute.
Assassin shot to death police officer Edward Byrne.
Not bad. That was given to me by a police officer in New York called Matt Byrne, whose son was gunned down by these drug dealers up there in New York City.
NYPD rookie police officer was murdered, executioner style.
It was the consensus of opinion that Brian Glaze Gibbs, and only Brian Glaze Gibbs, was capable of pulling something off like this.
When they threw that fucking firebomb to the house, they started a war. Everybody that was responsible for it, they would have lost somebody, more than somebody. They would have lost a fucking whole generation that day.
Everybody knew who he was, and most people feared Glaze.
We was always prepared.
Yo, Glaze! I just got to my favorite part of your book. This is Out of Prison as a New Person. So, page 308, May of 1998. That's actually when I had the pleasure of meeting you, and we worked together on that 10:30 to 3 a.m. shift, which was crazy. My respect level just went up like 10 more notches for you. So I knew about your past. I knew about everything that had gone on. But what I didn't know is you were going from $40,000 a day to, I think we were making $12 an hour there, that night shift. Something crazy. So for you to be able to have that work ethic of going from slinging easy rocks to slinging heavy packages and working that night shift and just being the positive person you were that whole time and offering encouragement to everybody that worked that shift.